Hey guys, welcome back to our holiday podcast series. Today we're going to talk about hosting with gut health in mind, tips for a successful holiday feast. We all want our guests to feel included and comfortable at our celebrations, especially when it comes to food. After all, sharing a meal is one of the best ways to connect with others, and we want everyone to enjoy the feast without worrying about their dietary needs. So, in this episode, I'll share some tips on how to create an inclusive and enjoyable dining experience for all your guests. Let's make this holiday season a delicious and memorable one. So, the first thing is understanding your guest's dietary needs. It's always a good idea to ask about any dietary restrictions or preferences ahead of time. This way, you can ensure everyone feels included and can enjoy the meal. Think about common gut health concerns like IBS or food sensitivities or lactose intolerance. Also, consider other health needs like vegetarian or vegan diets, allergies, heart healthy diets, weight friendly diets, or any other dietary restrictions your guests might have. Being proactive in understanding these needs can help you create a more enjoyable experience for everyone. Now let's talk about creating a balanced menu. Aim to highlight a variety of dishes, including proteins, veggies, grains, and desserts. The good news is that many gut-friendly options are still festive and flavorful. You don't have to serve diet foods, bland foods, or anything fancy. In fact, the holidays can lend themselves beautifully to this type of eating, as many traditional dishes are built on whole, healthy foods. Here are some sample menu ideas to get you started. For appetizers, consider serving yogurt-based dips paired with fresh veggies for a refreshing start. A charcuterie board with some fermented options is another great choice. Think pickles or sauerkraut to boost gut health. For main dishes, you can't go wrong with roasted vegetables, gluten-free or cornbread stuffing, or an herb marinated protein that everyone will love. Include delicious sides like sweet potato mash or green beans with slivered almonds and a light vinaigrette. Mashed potatoes with a touch of butter or coconut oil, seasoned simply with salt and pepper, are always a crowd pleaser. Finish off the meal with a gluten-free pumpkin pie or a refreshing fruit salad drizzled with yogurt or lemon juice. A crust-free pumpkin parfait can also be a delightful gluten-free dessert. By focusing on these hearty, wholesome options, you'll create a festive spread that supports your guests' health while keeping everybody satisfied and healthy. Now let's dive into some flavorful alternatives that can really make your holiday dish shine while keeping them gut-friendly. When it comes to gut-friendly cooking, consider using gluten-free flours for your baked goods. There are plenty of options out there. The one-to-one gluten-free blends or oat flour, which not only work well, but also add unique flavors, and in the case of oats, a lovely texture to your dishes. Pair these with healthy fats such as olive oil or avocado oil to keep everything rich and satisfying without the heaviness. You can also use natural sweeteners like maple syrup or honey in small amounts in the place of refined sugars. These options not only taste great, but can be easier on the system. If you're worried about heavy creams and rich sauces, there are plenty of ways to replace those without sacrificing taste. For example, you might use canned coconut milk for a creamy texture in soups or sauces. And when it comes to cooking for those with IBS or SIBO, consider alternatives to onion and garlic. Garlic infused olive oil provides that wonderful garlic flavor without the FODMAPs, and the green parts of scallions are a fantastic substitute that adds a mild onion taste without the digestive discomfort. Now let's talk about some cooking techniques that can really enhance the flavor of your dishes. Roasting and grilling are two methods that bring out the natural sweetness in vegetables, making them irresistible. Toss your veggies in a bit of olive oil, season them with salt and pepper, and roast them until they're caramelized. You won't believe how delicious they can be cooked this way. And don't forget about the power of fresh herbs and spices. They can elevate your dishes and add layers of flavor. For example, Try using rosemary or thyme with roasted meats and veggies, or sprinkle some fresh basil or cilantro on salads for that extra pop of flavor. Incorporating umami-rich ingredients can take your meals to the next level. For example, roasted cherry tomatoes topped with fresh basil and drizzled with olive oil make a refreshing side dish. You can also create miso glazed roasted carrots by mixing miso paste with a little water and honey to glaze the carrots before roasting them. Nutritional yeast is another great option. You can sprinkle it on gluten-free pasta with a light olive oil and herb sauce for a cheesy flavor without dairy. And lastly, marinating chicken in a mixture of olive oil, herbs, and coconut aminos before grilling or roasting can give you a rich, savory flavor. These simple yet delicious ideas can elevate your holiday meals while steering clear of common food allergies or sensitivities or intolerances to make them friendly for the majority of your guests. And by focusing on these gut-friendly ingredients and cooking techniques, you'll create a flavorful holiday meal that everyone can enjoy, regardless of their dietary needs. Now let's talk about setting the perfect atmosphere for your holiday gathering. Creating a festive environment goes beyond just the food, it's all about the experience. While we're focusing on making the food both delicious and gut friendly, remember that enhancing the atmosphere can pull some of the tension away from solely the meal and remind everyone what the holiday is truly about: connection and celebration. Start with your table setting. Think about using vibrant tablecloths or placemats, colorful dishes, and maybe even some fresh greenery or seasonal decorations to really enhance that holiday vibe. Simple touches like beautiful napkin folding or personalized place cards can also make your guests feel special and welcomed. Don't underestimate the power of music and lighting. Soft ambient lighting can create a cozy, inviting space, while a carefully curated playlist can set the mood for the evening. Consider playing some festive tunes in the background, something upbeat that encourages conversation without overwhelming it. And don't forget about the conversation. Meals are about connection, and fostering that during your gathering is so important. Encourage your guests to engage with each other by sharing stories or asking questions about their favorite holiday memories. You could even prepare a few icebreakers or conversation starters ahead of time. For example, you might ask everyone to share their favorite holiday dish or a funny cooking mishap they've experienced. These little prompts can really break the ice and get everybody chatting, making your gathering not only delicious but memorable too. Now let's talk a little bit about serving and presentation, because the way that you present your food can really elevate the dining experience. So first of all, displaying your dishes creatively can make a big difference. Thinking about using different heights and layers when serving, stacking dishes or stands, or using tiered platters can add visual interest. And don't forget to utilize color and texture to make your meal visually inviting. Vibrant veggies, fresh herbs, and colorful garnishes can transform a simple dish into something that looks amazing. For example, a bowl of roasted root vegetables looks fantastic when you sprinkle fresh parsley or pomegranate seeds on top. These little touches not only make the food more appealing, but also signal freshness and flavor. It's also a great idea to label the dishes, particularly for guests with dietary restrictions or allergies. Simple labels for each dish that highlight key ingredients can make a big difference. This way, everyone can easily see what they can enjoy without any guesswork. It's a small step that ensures everyone feels included and can truly savor the meal without any worries. By focusing on presentation and clear labeling, you create a more enjoyable and stress-free dining experience for all your guests. Now let's talk about some strategies for navigating potential challenges that can arise during your holiday gathering, especially when it comes to dietary questions and peer pressure. First off, dealing with questions can sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. It's important to remember that your guests may be genuinely curious about what's on the menu, especially if they have dietary restrictions themselves. When addressing these inquiries, keep it polite and straightforward. For example, if someone asks about your cornbread stuffing, you can simply say, I made a cornbread stuffing with plenty of herbs. It's really flavorful. You don't have to mention that it's gluten-free, dairy-free, and low FODMAP unless you want to. The level of detail you provide is entirely up to you. This approach not only answers their question, but also showcases the effort you put into creating a delicious dish. When you respond with confidence and pride about the choices you make, it sets a positive tone for the meal. Remind yourself that you've thoughtfully curated a menu that caters to everyone's needs, and that is something to be proud of. Now, let's talk about handling pressure, which can often come into play during holiday gatherings. You might hear comments like, oh, come on, just have a little bit of this rich dessert, or you can't skip the mashed potatoes. It's really helpful to have strategies in mind in advance for responding to these kinds of comments without feeling guilty. You could say something like, I appreciate the offer, but I'm really enjoying what's on my plate right now. Or, I've reached my happy place with this meal. I couldn't ask for more. Or, I'm feeling really full, but I'll definitely save room for dessert later. These responses highlight your thoughtful approach to food without coming off as dismissive or drawing too much attention to your gut health issues or your dietary needs. Remember, it is your gathering and you have every right to enjoy it in a way that feels good for your gut and your overall wellness. So, I want to quickly recap some of our key points from today. First and foremost, thoughtful meal planning and presentation can truly elevate your holiday gathering. It's not just about food, it's about creating an experience that everyone can enjoy together. Remember that creating a warm and inviting atmosphere enhances connection among your guests, making the meal feel even more special. Also, being prepared for dietary discussions with confidence is crucial. Knowing how to address questions and handle pressures from others about food can help you create a more relaxed experience for yourself and environment for everyone.